Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2026, and I wish you a happy new year. All right, in this video, I am going to tell you how I spent my Christmas, just a summary of the things we did before we resumed in the new year. All right, okay, please sit back and watch. It's going to be fun, I promise you. All right, so a short reintroduction for new people. My name is Rhoda Eche. I am married to Eche and we have 4 children. And I am also a PhD student at the University of Toronto. And I like to talk about my Christian faith. I like to cook, so I make cooking videos. And occasionally I share how I navigate life with my studies and being a mom to 4 children. Okay, so one thing I like to do every Christmas season is to cook for our family friends, right? And just have a nice little gathering where we can all relax. And this 2025 Christmas was an exception. On 27th, we all gathered for this kind of event at my home. And so on the 26th, I went out to go and buy the things that we needed for the cooking. I bought a lot of things. Anyway, it was snowing very, very heavily. Like it was a whole blizzard. And somebody might ask me, well, why did you not buy the groceries you will be needing to cook before the 26th? Because guess what? It was only on the 26th that I went out to buy the things I will be needing to cook on the 27th. And your question is right. You are very right for asking me that question. But anyway, it is what it is. Well, I went to 2 different supermarkets. I finished shopping at the first store and I came out, and just to put the things back in, into my trunk and move over to Costco, which was directly across the road from the first place, my hands were no longer moving because I had underestimated how cold it was outside. And so I did not put on gloves while heading into the store. I think after some time, I stopped feeling my hands. So I needed to come in and warm myself up in the car before going out to, brush off all the snow that had collected on top of my car before I headed out to the next shopping area, which was the Costco supermarket. It's like we've always known, been set in stone, unbreakable. It's like I've always dreamed, true harmony, unmistakable, unmistakable. Nah, today not today. Praise God, I finished my first round of shopping. I'm now going to head over to Costco by the this return. Thank you, Jesus, for protecting me. Yeah. Okay. I have now put on gloves because, man, I nearly had, did I say frostbite? Okay, I need to turn this thing off. Watch as it breaks down beside us. When we've risked everything for life. On the outside, always looking in. I have barely 4 hours to cook, right? Based on the time I give my guests. So let's get to it. Okay, so 27th was the day of the event, the gathering. Okay, when I say event, it seems as if it's like a huge event. It was just a family gathering, right? Because these people are our family. Anyway, I gave my guests 12 p.m., anytime from 12 p.m. But guess what? I woke up late because I had slept late the previous night. And so all I was relying on was the grace of God to be able to complete the cooking before they arrive, right? Before they arrived. And have you ever been in this kind of situation whereby you're really praying, right? You're praying, like literally praying for your guests to come late so that you would have finished cooking at least. To the glory of God, I was able to finish cooking before they arrived, but I had not finished setting up the table, the way I would have loved to set it up before they arrived. But that was okay because there was nothing to, be too fancy about, right? They are our friends and they understood immediately. Anyway, for every big cooking, event that I'm going to have, I always start by prepping some things, right? And this was not an exception. Of course, jollof rice is supposed to be here. My theme for this Christmas cooking was healthy food, right? Healthy food. I was not going to do anything that was um outright unhealthy or even unhealthy at all. So anyway, I started by roasting all of the veggies that I was going to be using for the tomato, for the jollof rice, right? My tomatoes, garlic, onions, right? Seasoned it, drizzled a little olive oil on it and put it in the oven. And then I also cooked the goat meat that I was going to be using to make two different soups. One would be oha soup, the other would be onugbu soup. So there were a lot of commonalities between them. The only difference literally was the vegetables that were going to be used in preparing both of them. All right. So I also wanted to just, put in some like snails, grilled snails into the protein that we were going to be eating for that day. You don't know how these things have been cleaned. So I took my time and I cleaned these snails with vinegar and water as much as I could. I scraped off all the dirt, that collected or whatever they are, the grass and the grime and everything. And the tradition in my home is that anytime you handle meat or fish in the sink, you have to clean the sink area before you continue with whatever it is that you're doing. Why? Because germs are easy to be transferred from one surface to the other, and my children can come drop something that they are eating, their snack on the counter, and pick it back up and put in their mouth. You don't want to get your family sick. So that's what we do in this house. You clean meat, you clean fish, you wash the sink area before you continue. And that is what you see me doing here.
On the road, I've been away for far too long, but now I'm on my way back home. I hear the west winds calling out my name. They're telling me to head your way.
Now, these Onugbu leaves here, or as people call it, bitter leaves, gave me a lot of problems. One, because there were a lot of sand particles in it, right? So I had to wash a couple of times, many times that I can show you here, to make sure that there was no sand, no particle of sand in that, because I don't want to embarrass myself before people. Okay, it's going to be funny. You finish cooking food and people are biting on sand in the food that you cooked for them. So I washed it a couple of times. But on the other hand, it was also the leaves were so bitter, right? I washed as much as I could, and when I found out that this bitterness was not going to be disappearing anytime soon, I decided to cook the onugbu leaves, which I would naturally not have done. I don't like cooking my onugbu leaves, but I had to cook them a little bit just to reduce the bitterness in them. So here are my cocoa yams. These are the things that we're going to be using for thickening the soup, right? I think it's called edos here. Anyway, I'd already finished cooking them and I started to, pop them off. When you cook them in their skin, it's easy to pop off, right? And I also had some dry fish which I like to soak in hot water. Just this the thing I like about all of the things I'm showing you is that these are not just because I'm cooking for people. This is how I cook for my family. Okay. Things like dry fish, you want to soak them in and wash them in very hot water because there are a lot of things that have, you know, um, gathered all over the fish, and these things are carcinogens. Okay, so you want to clean them out. It's only hot water that can do the job. All these wanting to, you know have a whole mangala, a full dry fish over your food, and you just use cold water, because if you use hot water they're going to disintegrate or get really soft. So you just use cold water and rinse it and pop in the food. It is dangerous. Stop it, please. From today onwards, wash your dry fish and your stock fish with what? With hot water. Thank you. Okay, I also got the chicken started. I'm going to be making broth from the chicken. So, and the one thing I like to put when I'm cooking meat that I'm going to be making broth from is fresh ginger water. So you basically blend the ginger with some water and then you sieve the water out. It really elevates the flavor of your broth.
Down your road and past your gates, keep your eyes on the horizon. looking to belong when I'd already found my home. Won't be long, I'm there before the setting sun, for you to fall into my arms.
So to give my jollof rice a more earthy and sort of nutty flavor, I am also putting coconut milk into it. It's going to look, it's not coconut rice the type where you skip on the tomatoes. No, this is like full jollof rice, but I wanted to give it like a coconut flavor. It turns out really good, trust me. Okay, so while I was trying to bring out this the flesh of the coconut from the shells, hubby was just lingering around and asking me to be careful to give it to him so he could do it. Like, brother, don't worry, I'm good. You guys, I think I'm a spoiled wife, right? And honestly, I'm not trying to do anything by saying this, but I just appreciate my life and I thank God for it. Left to my husband, I would not even be stepping foot on the floor. But hey, I am the first one in my family and I like being responsible. So, yeah, but I bless God for him and I thank God that I don't have stress. Um, God is good, right? Anyway, that was a side talk. Okay. Okay, so over here, I am just adding all the meat, the goat meat that I had cooked in my pressure cooker. And for the oha soup, I put some uziza and then added the oha leaves. Again, I bought them all of these from one vendor, one Nigerian vendor, the vendor I talked to you about. And whew, this soup was very yummy, guys. Very, very yummy. And I made a lot. So we had a lot of things to freeze and put in the freezer, right? To pack and put in the freezer. Okay, so the tomatoes are done. You can see how charred it is on top. That charredness gives it, makes the red color more vibrant, but also gives it the smoky flavor that people try to get by putting charcoal in their rice. Don't do that. Or by burning their rice purposefully. Please don't do it. Do this instead. Roast your tomatoes in the oven. You are going to get the smoky taste and it lasts. Okay. All right. So remember I told you that the theme for my Christmas cooking was what? Healthy food, right? And so for the fufu, all I used was oatmeal. I blended it with some water in the blender, transferred it to the pot and started stirring. It's a lot of exercise, but it's good. I wanted everybody to eat healthy. We did not have any sort of soda or drinks or whatever that was bought from the store. Even for the drinks, you will see the drinks I made by myself. Okay, I made smoothie for the drinks, just like frozen smoothie. So one thing I like to do for my fufu is to add olive oil. It just helps it makes it easier to navigate. And then even when you're scooping it out, it sort of just falls out from the spoon. Over here, I am also cooking the fried rice. I used purple cabbage and some green beans, frozen corn to make this fried rice. It was very yummy, very, very yummy.
I call my home. I was looking to belong when I already found my home.
So for the protein, the chicken and the snails, I stewed them with a lot of pepper and onions, right? And then I added some fresh parsley over it. My friend is pregnant, she's heavily pregnant, and the doctor told her to go on a restricted diet. So for her, specially made a green bean chicken stir fry to be eaten with whole grain brown rice. I used chicken breast, green beans, some garlic, and oyster sauce to make that. All right, so at this point, oha soup ready, onugbu soup ready, jollof rice ready, stewed chicken and snail ready, fried rice ready, oatmeal fufu ready. The only thing that was getting done was the green bean chicken stir fry.
Wait, what is this onion?
No, purple cabbage.
Oh.
You want to go upstairs? What's going on upstairs?
So there's this guy, one guy, fresh frozen from Nigeria. Yeah, so basically he just carries it around. It's four people in one area. I tell them it's coming to this place. So if you want the things you
I need to buy two for them. Then, last 2 years, when we came here.
So what I did for drinks was that I blended some blueberry with almond milk and some ice and Greek yogurt that I made at home by myself. Yeah. Towards the end of last year, I was really leaning very well into making my own food from scratch. And it has been very helpful and healthy for my family. And also, the night before, I also had frozen some strawberries, right? I had some frozen strawberries, which I blended again with yogurt and a little almond milk, just a tiny little bit to still keep that frozen, consistency. And so, first of all, I poured in the blueberry smoothie in these dessert cups. They are very good looking. And then I scooped the frozen strawberry in the middle of each one. And then I topped with some fresh raspberries and blueberries. And for the kids, I had also frozen some Greek yogurt into the shapes of, Christmas figurines like gingerbread man and the bells and everything. And then I put it just to give them that, make it interesting for them, right? And then the only thing that we would say that were a little bit unhealthy here were the Christmas cookies. Even those were made by myself, I made them, right? And put them in jars. So I know exactly what was in them. And everybody loved it. Of course, the kids did not really like the frozen yogurt, the Greek yogurt, because I did not sweeten it with anything. But the other stuff in the cup was sort of well accepted by most of them and the adults. The first thing come back, we win the prize.
No. All of you have won.
Are you ready?
Yes. No.
Wait. 1, 2. Press is too close. Go! If you pass, you pick it up. Keep going. The first person
Pick it up and do it again. No, you pick it up and you put it before you start moving.
Okay. Move here. Give yourself space. Give yourself space. Praise. 1, 2, go.
Slowly. You should not drop. Don't let your egg drop.
If it drops, you are out. Last one.
Oh, let me
Praise is the winner. Praise is the winner.
Hey. Who doesn't have a seat?
Olivia is out.
Yeah, come.
Wahala. I know it's Olivia that went out.
Yeah, but Olivia was gone.
Yes, now we remove one seat. You are not
Yeah, you're out.
Only one seat. Brexit, what are you doing?
I took it for this seat as well.
One is removed already there.
Okay, let's go.
Square time.
Please stand.
She's probably do something with this life. She does not even know that she lost. What she knows is that she's not allowed to sit down again there. Wait.
You were the champion in the previous one.
You still was getting prize.
You feel lost 100 times before. Going in circles along the street while the TV gets on. Well, I guess you haven't heard. Living it around no more. Things about to get much better. So I wanna make this forever. I wanna
So as you could already see, the kids played games, and at the end everybody won and everybody got a prize. And before, as soon as we went into the new year, before we resumed on this 5th of January, we all went out as a family to a Japanese restaurant where we had lovely dinner and just bonded before we began the hustle and bustle of the school year. All right, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. You're going to be seeing more of me in this new year. God bless you.
I don't mind saying I roll out of bed and I roll up. Ooh, stretch my back.